I'm Shiva.
I'm Sandy.
And this is
Our Relaxing Hobby. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Today's episode is going to be a little bit about bettas.
Yep, betta fish, otherwise known as Siamese Fighting Fish.
Yeah, we both had different experiences with them.
Very different.
We have a future episode on them later as well. But today's episode is just basic care and basic helps. They're really pretty easy to maintain. Sort of.
As long as you know what you're doing.
Well,
and
yeah.
we both had two different approaches to maintaining bettas as well.
Right. Like I had, when my children were young, my daughter really liked the bettas, and so we got the basic starter octagon. I mean, bigger than the little container they're sold in at the pet stores.
About 3 gallon?
No, oh Lord, no. This thing wasn't even a gallon. It was maybe a half a gallon each, and you can fit them on top of one another and next to each other, and because the males will fight. They will kill each other. You cannot put them together. Well, I guess some people say you can, but I've never seen that with the males. They flare up. It's really cool to watch. My teenager loved it. But we had 6 of the tanks, and we had them all separate, and we didn't have any kind of filtration. We just dropped little betta pellets with them, and then once a week I just changed out the water. It was really just an easy, and we had no harm. I mean, I want to say they lived for 2 years. It was an accidental, we literally lost all of them within a few months, so it was very strange. I don't know exactly, I don't remember what happened, but it was something weird that happened. Then I had Ahmed, who is, Ahmed was the meanest betta I've ever seen in my entire life. He hated everything. He hated everyone. He was actually in a 3 gallon.
The one I gave you was a 3 gallon.
3 gallon. He was in a 3 gallon. I had a couple of tetras in there with him, and a couple of rasboras. I had a little pleco that was red, which I'd never seen before. Little bristlenose red pleco, which I'd never seen. He hated it. I had a Cory in there, and he tried to kill everything. He would attack the glass if you walked by. He would attack every single fish in the tank. He was not a nice, friendly betta. He did not like anything. And I was, the joke, the Jeff Dunham joke, the "shut up, I kill you." That was him. So I named him Ahmed. He wanted to kill everything. My little fish fared much better over in your tanks when I moved, and I didn't take the tank with me. They fared much better over here.
Yeah.
All of my fish fared much better over here. But anyway, yeah, Ahmed was a jerk. But he was in a night. I had a couple of rasboras. I had 3 tetras, 3 rasboras,
and
the red bristlenose, and everybody was fine in there except he tried to kill them on a constant basis. But they, the only one he really didn't mess with was the Cory, and I think that was because the Cory body slammed him, and he didn't mess with the Cory. But other than that, he was kind of cool. He was beautiful. I mean, I got it from a pet store, and like I said, I got the others that Kelly had for years at the pet store. And they did great. They didn't require a whole bunch. It was a regular standard filter for his. The ones we had in the house didn't even have any filter. Just changed it out with spring water once a week.
Yeah, because I think the tank I gave you had a built-in filter.
Yeah, built-in filter. Yes. But the little 6 little octagon things. I mean, they were I don't even know, maybe half a gallon each. And so they had plenty of room to swim around for a betta. I don't know if you know much about bettas, but the rice patties, they have very small, the males have very small.
Actually not entirely true.
Well,
believe it or not.
Yeah, well that's what I was always told. So
that's what everybody's always been told.
So they had their space, and they didn't really seem unhappy. They were actually fun. They used to swim around all the time. They were very active. They weren't like you see them in those little containers where they just laid still.
Yeah, you don't want to put them in too big of a tank. But you also don't want to keep them in those little teeny fish bowls.
No, the fish bowls were horrible. This thing was much larger.
Yeah, the problem with keeping bettas when it comes to tank size, and I'm not nagging you because nobody knows this, or at least it's not common
what we were told was they were in rice patties, and there was a very small.
Until this wonderful invention called the internet, people really had to. People in the fish keeping hobby really had to depend on either what the fish people, the sellers said.
Right, which in my case, this was, keep in mind, this was 20 years ago.
Right.
So almost 15, 20 years ago. So there was no information really other than what the fish store told you, which was they were in a rice patty. And you had the small
in a cup of water.
Yeah, well, no, they kept, they were like, oh, they're kept, they stay in their own little section because they defend it. So they don't really leave it, so they don't need a whole lot of space. So, in my mind, this half-gallon thing was a pretty big space for them because it was, it's...
Well, a half-gallon was still bigger than what I saw a lot of people in Bettas back in the day. Back
in the day, there were those little tiny bowls. Yeah, I know.
Little bowls. I mean, we are talking 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But they would keep them in these little teeny bowls.
Yep.
Like it looked like a brandy glass or...
Yes.
And it's ridiculous to fish are miserable. Now, my approach to Bettas is like the tank that I gave Sandy, which was a 3-gallon tank, had its own filtration system in it.
And he was extremely happy, and he did explore the entire thing and thought he owned it. He owned the tank. It was his, the whole thing.
You always want to keep like ornaments in there for hiding holes and plants. You want to have that kind of room. I usually keep my Bettas at least in 3 gallons, usually more like 5 gallons. Right. I don't go more than 10 gallons though, unless very specific reason why I would go more than the 10 gallons.
Right.
Right now I have one male who is by himself, but he has tank mates, and he's in a 10-gallon upright.
Right.
Lots of plants, and there are several, unlike what people were told back in the day, when we were young and had started with Bettas, you can actually have other fish with Bettas. And
we were told you couldn't put anything in with Betta.
She just had a bad experience with Ahmed.
Hers were great. Ahmed was a monster.
Yeah, my male Bettas, I've kept them usually with Harlequin sporas.
Right.
Little bristleness plecos, little emerald quarries. I now have some different types of tetras in with mine. They're fine. The fish enjoy having the company. They'll follow them around, they'll play with them. They like their plants. As long as you have to make sure that any fish that you put in there, any small fish, are not like fin nippers.
Yeah, they can't, and they also can't be too brightly colored.
Yes, you also have to worry about
that was, I think, the problem with the odd pleco that I had that I'd never seen was a bright red, and Ahmed was threatened by him, and it was a bright red color, and so he decided he wanted to kill it.
That's also why you can't have guppies in there.
Right, and I knew I love guppies, and I wanted guppies, but I could not put guppies in with Ahmed, but he was such a pretty fish that he made up for it.
But basically, when it comes to male fish in particular, although females can have the same problem, you have to watch out for brightly colored fish are not going to go over well with a betta because they look too much like the other bettas. Right. Especially like the guppies with the bright colored tails. Yeah. So you want to go with duller fish, whether
No, I did have some neon tetras, but they didn't really.
The neon tetras seem to be okay because they're more, they're smaller. They don't look like
a betta.
They don't look like a betta. The guppy,
looked too much like a betta. I wasn't even going to take that chance, not even with a female betta. Guppy.
Right. Yeah. So you want to stay around with red, and that includes when you're decorating your tanks and whatnot. You want to stay away from reds and oranges or anything that look really bright like that. Right. You also want to watch out for really bright lights when it comes to bettas. They don't like bright lights.
Yeah, they don't like the bright. Yeah, that is true. I didn't like that.
Yeah, if you're going to get lights for your betta tank, make sure that they can go dim. Even a low light with a lot of plants and a brightly colored betta looks gorgeous. You don't need a bright light in order to see a betta, especially the males that are really bright colored.
Right, very vibrant. The males are, the females are bad, but the males are just absolutely gorgeous for bettas.
Right. Most people go after the males. They want the males because they are the more peacock showy ones.
Right. I actually was at a pet store and the lady was trying to buy 4 of them to put in the same 10-gallon tank.
Yeah, you can't.
It was a hard sell for me and the fish guy trying to explain to this woman why she could not.
Now, there is a way to keep two male bettas in a 10-gallon tank, and that is by buying a divider.
Yeah, you have to buy a divider because they will attack the glass. That was.
Yeah.
They will try to kill each other on a constant basis. Yeah, whenever they see each other, they will swim around and attack.
Yeah, if you want the illusion of having 2 male bettas in the same tank, you can get a 10-gallon tank and buy a divider.
Yeah.
You want to have a divider that's actually opaque rather than clear, so they can't see each other. Otherwise, they're just going to be.
Which is, if you want that, that's simple. That's why they get them. Yeah. But you have to have a divider because they will kill each other, and that's cruel.
Well, they'll try to kill each other with the.
Even with the divider, they will try.
If they do the clear, so do an opaque divider, and that way they don't see each other. It's like having 2 betta tanks side by side. It looks gorgeous. You can hide. Do a little bit of an illusion with some tall plants in the middle.
Yeah.
Nobody will tell. It'll hardly noticeable, and it'll look great. But you do never ever want to keep 2 male bettas in the same tank, or you're going to end up with 1 betta and lots of betta pieces.
Not that we're going to talk about breeding and anything, but you don't really want to keep a female and a male in there together either, unless they're breeding, because the male will also kill the female.
Right.
Unless they're breeding and it's a very short window. We'll talk about that in a whole other episode.
Male bettas are extremely aggressive.
Yeah. with other
Yeah.
betas, and obviously with Aqua, with everybody.
Yeah. Now, if you stayed with us so far and you like what we have to say,
I was just
hit
saying,
the subscribe button.
Subscribe, like, share.
Yep.
By all means.
Because we're about to tell you about my special little project.
Yeah.
And we're also going to start the mini count on how many times Sandy rolls her eyes. Actually, we're not even going to start.
We're not. Yeah.
We'll do that the next episode.
Yeah. We're not gonna roll our eyes.
Yeah. Now, in our next
Shiva.
episode, Now, in our next episode, we're going to be talking about how you can actually keep more than one beta in a tank.
Right.
It is possible. It has actually become a little bit trendy in some circles. And so, of course, I had to try it. But I cheated a little bit, and I will tell you about that next episode. But you're going.
But so far it's been successful.
So far it's been very, very, very well. And we'll be talking about beta sororities. And that'll be next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. So until
it's something
then,
you look forward to.
So until then, you can either look back on some of our other episodes and get caught up with all the fun stuff.
All
we've
the
been
crazy
doing,
stuff, yeah.
right? Or you subscribe, or you
Or
make
like,
your friends,
or
make
you
your friends, share.
Or the
And
Patreon.
Yeah,
I cannot say that word. I don't know what. Patreon page.
Or Patreon.
I
mix them up one way or the other. I don't know.
Yeah, the page where you help donate some money so that we can do more fun stuff.
Yes.
'Cause we'd love to get out and do even some more stuff now that we've both been vaccinated.
Yes, yes.
So we're
Get
excited.
vaccinated, folks, because we're going to be going on some road trips here soon.
Yeah, and if you want to come with us, woohoo! Virtually it is.
Virtually.
Actually, we don't care. You can come with us. We don't.
Yeah,
care.
we'll tell you where we're going to be.
Yeah,
if you
we're not
wanna
hiding
catch
it.
up with us.
Yeah.
But basically, we have a Patreon page where if you like our show and want to support us on a more long-term basis, you can become a patron. And I think it starts at like $5 a month and kind of goes up from there. But we do have some cool perks for our patrons, and they get special videos, and they get a little bit more insight into the show and about the fish, and
Yeah.
there's all
Background.
kinds of things.